How's everyone doing today? We have a special guest with us, and we're not talking about Victoria. We are talking about Anthony Michael Hall. How are you doing, Anthony?
Good to be here, guys. Great to be with you. Victoria's a very special guest.
Thank you.
She was just telling us about how much time it took her to get here today.
It did. It took me forever. I had to go to Laredo for a calendar call that ended up being a 2-minute conversation with a court coordinator, and then I got back on the road and I drove here.
Texas, 7-hour drive. No, 5 hours? Wow.
6 hours, yeah.
And so have you been driving here in Texas?
I've been driving too, yeah. We started this, we're doing this tour right now that I put together. And this kind of sprang from doing the Comic-Cons the last 10 years, which I love. And so I do these movie screenings of the old films, John Hughes and other ones. And then we do a live Q&A after, and then meet and greets with the fans. So it's been great. We put together like a 2-week tour.
That's awesome.
So yeah, man, I've been driving too. Not as much as Victoria, though.
or as fast, hopefully.
Exactly, right. She's a speed demon.
And so is this your first time to Hidalgo County, South Texas?
It is, man. Yeah, it's the first time, and the people are beautiful. You know, we've had some events here. We did a party at the 80s bar the other night, and a couple screenings, as I mentioned, and just really enjoying it. You know, wish I could spend more time here, but I'll be back.
And have you eaten?
That was
like
going to
any
be my
places?
question.
Yeah, man. You guys, I've heard about the taquerias. You got to pull over a lot. You got to try.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to try some of those out. We've been so busy, but I'm looking forward to it. I love Mexican food. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Do they have the food truck place open during the week in McAllen? Because you're going to be in McAllen, right?
Yeah. Is that the spot? Yeah.
There's a food truck.
There's like a food truck park, but I
Great.
don't know the days that they're open. But yeah, they have a bunch of
sounds good.
places out there.
Why are you looking at me? Because I'm fat, right? And I
No.
should know.
Yeah. She was looking for that validation.
No.
She's like,
Chris,
he's a fat guy.
He's a fat guy. Say
Chris
yes.
is making eye contact with me. He's like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
Exactly
about.
what you mean.
Because if I ask F, he's going to be like, oh, yeah, no, I think they're only open on Tuesdays, and it would be incorrect information.
It would be.
So
Hilarious.
That's nice,
I
that's
already
nice.
know.
These are
that-
food games, people.
Yeah. There's just certain information that I can't go to F for.
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of it comes from my upbringing. Like Anthony, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of emotional scarring there. When I was little, I actually looked at Barbie dolls, and I, after seeing one of your movies, I was
Science? Did we do that
yeah,
to you?
weird. I was thinking,
You're going to blame me now?
man, if I could just
Victoria drove
make
5
it.
hours, now you're blaming me?
He's like in person
If
finally.
she could only come alive,
Right? It's alive! Right. That's funny.
Not for you.
No, yeah. So from you've come out like in a lot of movies, right?
Yeah, man. Been around a long time. I'm 51. I started when I was a little boy, and I was 8 years old in the 70s.
Wow, that's
Who remembers
awesome.
the 70s? A long time ago.
Yeah.
Chris,
and
do you?
No, I wasn't
No, I
even
was old,
hatched.
Yeah, you weren't hatched.
I wasn't hatched
I
yet.
wasn't either.
I'm the old dog here. Viejo.
So most of the movies that you've been in have been labeled iconic.
Thank you.
I mean, you, and to be around this long in Hollywood.
Yeah, tell me about it. I
That-
see these re-release box sets. I'm like, am I dead yet? The movies are 35 years old now. I'm like, what the hell am I going on? Oh, but I appreciate it, yeah.
And some recent roles that you've been in. One is Riverdale, right?
That was a lot of fun. Riverdale shot that. I did one episode about a year ago. Great group that was up in Vancouver. Fun show. It's kind of like the Melrose Place for this generation, I guess.
Nice.
You know, real cool. Yeah.
Now with Riverdale, Molly Ringwald was
Yeah.
also in it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And how was it like reuniting?
Well, you know what, F? I didn't work with her on that episode, but you know, the last time we saw each other, so actually at Comic-Con a couple years ago in Florida, she plays, I guess, the mother to one of the kids on the show, and I
Yeah.
guess she was paired up with
She-
Luke before Luke passed on. That was really sad. He
Yeah,
was a
she
great guy.
plays Archie's mom, and
Yeah.
she wasn't on the show a lot. I think the first season.
Okay.
I watched some of the seasons.
Clearly a viewer.
And then she started popping up a little bit, and then she was I think a little bit more involved like after Archie got arrested because she's an attorney.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
Thank you. Me was different. One episode killed me right away. Dead in the hallway. Fell out of a locker, actually.
Ain't that some shit?
I'm like, I'm cool. I guess I'll be here, and I won't be here next week.
Yeah.
Way to go, right?
It's been nice seeing y'all though.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Riverdale.
But I enjoyed that. Then I did Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was a lot of fun. And now I'm guest starring on the Goldbergs, which is a blast, man. We did an episode.
love
Oh, that's a
that
great
show.
show.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
It's funny. It's funny. We shot one at Disneyland a couple months back, and it was like a spoof of Vacation. The Goldbergs go to Disneyland, and then they brought me back as a guidance counselor, so that's a new role. Yeah, so it's fun with that.
Nice.
And then I got Halloween Kills coming out later in the fall too, which I'm really pumped about. So
And what's that about? Halloween
that's
Kills?
the next sequel to Halloween. You know, the last one with Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's a Blumhouse film, and it's a big role for me. I was really blessed to get
it's a
it.
big deal, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
real
excited.
big deal.
So we shot in Wilmington, North Carolina, in September and October, and it shot for about 6 weeks. So I'm pumped. I've been checking out test screening results on YouTube. I'm always searching YouTube, while I'm driving. Wait, I shouldn't say that. Wait a minute. All I see is highway in Texas. Let me check in on YouTube. But good things happening, thank God.
That's awesome.
You bring up a really interesting topic with like YouTube. Like when you started out, like for you to come out like in a movie, you had to go through the Hollywood machine.
Right.
But now you have like Netflix, you have Hulu.
Sure.
And I saw you on what is it? Is it War Machine with the?
That's right, with Brad Pitt.
Yeah. It came out on Netflix.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts of like these Netflix movies where?
I think it's incredible. We're in a new century. Imagine if you think about 100 years ago, at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, right? Our great grandparents, where they were at. I mean, we're in this new phase, right? Everything's digital. I mean, the world is moving very fast. But in terms of entertainment, that is really up the game because you have Netflix, you have Amazon, now you got Disney and Fox and everybody else competing. So I think that's what's up. I mean, it's all about smartphones and I think mobile technology, right, that we all live with every day. So I think it creates more opportunities, ultimately more jobs for people, which is good.
True.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's fun. It's fun. Yeah.
And have you ever been behind the camera or?
I have directed. I directed a movie when I was 25 when I first moved to LA called Hail Caesar. That was fun. Yeah. And I have a production company which is called Manhattan Films. So I've been working on the funding. We have a partner and we're launching this year. We're going to make our first film in the fall in New Orleans. So a lot of good stuff, trying to keep myself organized. Yeah.
You're busy.
Yeah, real busy.
Busy.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part? Do you like the producing? You like the directing? You like the acting?
You know what it is, Victoria? I'm enjoying expanding business-wise. Like this show we're doing, I'm promoting it. I'm the producer of it. I just want to do more. I think also, quite honestly, on a sad note, my father passed away, my stepfather, about 2 years ago.
I'm sorry.
So thank you, guys. Yeah, he was a great guy. So I think it's that time thing, too, of just realizing how valuable time is, right? Really wanting to maximize it. And I've had all these dreams in my head for years. So this tour came about from the Comic-Cons. And to your question, yeah, I do want to direct and produce, which is why I'm putting the company together. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, so good things, thank God, yeah.
Is there a particular genre that you are
The picture I'm going to make
attracted
is a cop story, but, looking back at my life when I worked with guys like John Hughes or Harold Ramis, I mean, I definitely want to make more comedies, And now I just got into this horror genre. I mean, being in Halloween is it's like the Star Wars of horror films, so I'm stoked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Yeah.
That's some cool stuff. I'm a horror guy.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I want to develop as a writer-director, and so I have the company will allow me to produce and help a lot of other people, too. That's the main goal, too.
That's really awesome.
So most people that come like on the show, like Anthony, we ask, are you a Trekkie or are you leaning more towards Star Wars?
Okay, so again, I'm older than you guys.
I'll
Okay?
cover
So
my
like-
shirt.
So back in the day, I remember Star Wars flipped me out. I was one of those kids in the 70s. I mean, I was there at the theater, so I was probably
Right
more
on.
of a Star Wars guy. But then over the years, too, growing up, Star Trek, man, you can't avoid it, right? All those old episodes. Even if you know what the hell is going on, it's like, it's a train wreck. You got to see, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think both those franchises are pretty amazing. What about yourself, Ef?
Have to go with Star
I was
Wars.
going to say Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Star Trek, you would watch it and it would make you think too much.
Yeah.
Way too logical. You
Right.
just-
You're like, I'm in court all day. I don't need this.
exactly. Exactly.
I think it's boring.
Ask him how many costumes he has, though.
How many costumes do you have, Ef?
Victoria, why are you calling me out like that?
Just like that. Good job, Victoria.
How many
Cosplay is cool.
No, but that's how you determine like a true fan,
fan, yeah.
because he has like just so many costumes.
Well, you know what's tripped out about these shows? That's one of the things. First of all, it's a family thing. It's wonderful. People really enjoy it. They take their kids, and then you see grown adults doing it too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
The one
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
I always say is I walk away from every con, loving the experience, meeting great people, and I go, Halloween's not enough for people, clearly, because
Nope,
It's not.
and you know what? And good on it. I think it's a fantastic entertainment medium, and I don't think it's going anywhere. It's expanded.
And what's really cool, like Anthony, is in the 80s you played like a lot of these nerd roles. And during the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, it was not cool to be a nerd. It was like, you don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, now it is
cool again.
Now you're
Nerds
cool.
took
be a
over the
nerd.
world, right?
Yeah.
The nerds start every startup in the last 25
But see,
years.
that's the thing, though. The
interesting.
nerds are the ones that run the world now.
Yes.
Right.
And that's the fact. These are your doctors, your lawyers, your, all these wonderful people. So it's
Indeed.
like now
Yeah.
they're on top. It's like, haha.
Yeah.
So these kids are seeing these 80s movies and these roles that you're playing, and they're thinking that's the cool guy.
You know what? It's amazing. It's a real blessing, guys, because here I'm at 15 when I made these movies with John Hughes as a kid. I was 13, 14, 15.
That
The
just
fact they
blows my mind.
Yeah, the fact that they keep finding younger audiences is a bug out because like teenage girls come up to me and they got the shirts on and it's like they watch it with their girlfriends. Girls are on TikTok doing the Breakfast Club stuff. So it's a real blessing. And it's also a testament to John because he was such a great director, you know. And he touched the heart with people. He used the comedy, but he touched the heart.
Yeah.
You know?
Right on.
Yeah.
Those movies, they're still movies that I will watch. If they're on TV, I'm going to watch them. I love them.
Absolutely.
And I hear when people are like, I've never seen it, and I just look at them like, what the hell is your problem? These are classics.
Yeah, the cult classics.
So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting, too, how the 80s look like as innocent as the 50s now? I mean, now that we're like, here it is
Ain't that
2020.
something?
I
Yeah.
mean, we're like,
Well, it's weird
crazy
because
world.
somebody will say something about the 90s, and I was like, that was like 10 years ago. And I'm like, shit, it wasn't.
No,
It
ma'am.
wasn't.
you know, right? You lose track of a decade. You're like, damn, oh, wait a minute, it's 2020, right?
That's-
right. Wait till you get to the point where you look back and all of a sudden you have friends that you've known for 20 years. You're like, damn, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I've known this fool for 20 years, you know?
No, I think
Ted.
no, I think the weirdest thing ever was I saw a Offspring, the greatest hits of Offspring.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you felt way 90s right
yeah,
there. Right?
man, that's like peak high school for me. I'm super cool in the 90s. Listening to Offspring, now I'm looking at the greatest hits. It's like,
Right.
what happened?
Right.
Yeah.
It's right next to like the Bee Gees and like the Beatles, and you're like, I feel like there's something wrong here.
Time catches up to all of us. Huh?
Barnes and Nobles has it wrong. What's wrong?
They don't even know, man.
Right?
They don't
What
even
section
know.
am I in? Yeah, exactly.
No, there's something worse when you go to a Barnes and Nobles and you ask for their CD section.
Oh,
They just
Right.
look at you like you're
Right.
crazy, like CDs.
There's
What was,
no
what was
CDs.
the other place that was down Hastings?
Hastings.
Hastings. That was like the place
Was
that
that
you
the spot?
actually got like
Yeah.
CDs and all your music.
All your music is
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So now everything's
I don't
like
even-
digital now.
It was a Barnes and Noble, back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. It was it's where you bought a lightsaber. I bought a lightsaber there.
Right.
So yeah.
Don't get me started on Blockbuster either, because I think we had one of the last Blockbusters.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
It was
The
within
nation,
the,
yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
actually within the last 4 years, because I remember my boyfriend and I, we had been dating, and he was like, "Y'all have a Blockbuster?" And I'm like, "Does Corpus not have a Blockbuster?"
Is that right? Yeah. It's also the pivot point because think of that's when Netflix really took
Yeah.
over.
Oh yeah.
It was always like no late fees. Remember that used to mess us up. You go back
Yeah.
to 3 videos. How much to owe? It was more than the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's how they
Netflix
would
just
get
like
you.
mail it back to us. We're cool.
Well, the Gun in 60
Incredible.
Seconds, I really wanted it. My girlfriend
Yeah.
bought it for me.
Oh, yeah.
Just when it came out. And even then, that VHS cassette cost $150 from Blockbuster because you couldn't buy it anywhere else.
Oh,
crazy?
shit.
So she ended up buying it for me. So I still have it, which is really cool. But thank you, baby. So, but yeah, man,
Right.
it's like $150 for a VHS tape.
Right.
You know?
Crazy.
And that you used to rent, I don't know if you guys remember, you used to rent Nintendos from there.
Yes.
You know, the video games, Do you have any favorite video games?
I was never really a game player, but I just remember the late fees going in there going, how much did it was
It's
like,
because he had chicks.
Yeah, that's
because he
why.
had
I
chicks,
was like,
Chris.
and he was working, not like the rest of you bums.
Yeah. That's how he got the chicks. He
That's-
worked.
there you
you
go.
know, you ask any unemployed teenager at that time too. You know,
Yeah,
I love my video
exactly.
games.
You guys, you got me right there. Yeah. Thank God.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
But yeah,
stuff,
man.
So what roles is one role that you just remember that you're like, you know what, if I could be remembered 100 years from now, I want to be remembered for that one role.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, well, I mean, certainly this block of these first films, which I used to joke like the Puberty on Film trilogy, the John Hughes movies, But you mentioned one I'm very proud of, Brad Pitt movie I did with him, War Machine. I'm very proud of that film. Looking back, like 61, about the Yankees, Billy Crystal movie I did years ago. Yeah, a bunch. I'm always forward thinking. You know how it is in America. We're like conditioned that way. We got to just, we're on the go, moving ahead. So creatively and work-wise, I always kind of think that way, But when I do chill out and look back, I go, wow, it's been a real blessing. Like, this guy started everything for me. I wouldn't have a career without John. He was awesome.
Right on.
And then it's really fun doing these TV shows too, man, because you're kind of in and out. It's like a part-time job. It's nice.
So do you have time to not work? Like, where you just like enjoying like some particular hobby?
Well, you know what it is? My mindset is more like it's just a year-round hustle because as an actor, there's no promises, there's no guarantees. So,
Oh yeah, just like lawyers when we try a case,
Right.
You never know what's going to happen. Yeah.
exactly.
Like, I'm on top of the world one day, and the next
Right.
day, nobody knows who
Yeah.
the hell I am.
For that reason, yeah, exactly. Well, for that reason, you have to just hustle year-round. So that's what it is. And also it's nice to blend work and business too, like on this kind of stuff with the tour. So it's great.
Wow.
What other places in Texas have you gone to, or are you going to?
Well, we're going to Dallas. We're doing the Lava Cantina up there, which is going to be fun. And we've been to a couple of Evo Entertainments and Kyle and Shirts. And we started on OKC, Oklahoma City. It was fun. The people have been great. And you know what's really fun, too, is to see people, really enjoying the movie-going experience. And people come in with memories. And it's also like teenagers, like we're talking about, that are finding these movies now. So it makes it really special. It's much bigger than me. It's like I always salute John Hughes. I talk about the different actors and take questions from the audience. It's fun. Yeah.
And how did you get started? How did John Hughes cast you?
You know what I did? I grew up in Manhattan, New York City. My mother raised me, and I was just as a kid I auditioned for commercials. It was kind of a hobby, that kind of spun into a career. And then I remember back in the day, 1980, I did a movie called Six Pack with Kenny Rogers and Diane Lane. And then from there, I got Vacation. I was about 14, and that changed
You were
things.
the troublemaker in Six Pack, right?
I was one of the kids. I was Doc. I think I was the
Doc,
the mechanic. Yeah. Remember that movie? It was like Bad News Bears at the racetrack.
Yeah. The racetrack.
It's like Bad News Bears NASCAR.
I think it's one of the only Kenny Rogers movies where he didn't sing for more than 30 minutes of it.
Is that right? Yeah. He didn't break out into the song like The Gambler, right?
Yeah.
You got to know it. No, but he was a beautiful person, really nice guy. He was very, very loving. He was a good man to work for. I mean, all those years back, even though we were all kids, he was very generous, nice person.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Man.
So you got started with commercials, and at what point did you think to yourself, I want to make a career out of this?
Great question. I think it was after the success of the John Hughes films, being a part of that, and I just realized, well, you know what? I can make a living out of this. And I would have those conversations even as a kid with myself, saying, you know what, I'm going to do this till I'm an old man. And then my mindset was always I was never really into playing the celebrity card. I always liked doing the work. And that's why I've had a varied career, thank God. I like to mix it up. You go dark to light in terms of the roles. Often, I'm not going to lie, you don't have the luxury of that. You got to hustle and audition, get whatever you can, But that's another thing about television, too. In addition to all the movies I've made over the years, television is a beautiful career to have, too, and to be in that industry, So I feel very fortunate being able to work in both mediums.
When you were doing 16 Candles, Weird Science, did you have any idea that they were going to be what they ended up being?
Way. No,
or
it's a
you're
good question.
Oh, this should be this is going to be pretty cool, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to.
No, Victoria, we had no idea. We just knew it was fun because he was mad cool on the set. He was just so nice, so collaborative. And he would always have nice little side talks with everybody, helping them with their role, making things better. But what was cool about him was he was never uptight about the script. You could try things. So 16 Candles, man, I was like his little organ grinder monkey, I was running the sun. I'm like, what are we going to do? And I run out there and, but he was cool like that. We would try things. He would listen to my input, Molly's, a lot of the other actors too. It was really, that was one of his talents too. He wasn't uptight. He was really collaborative and a good listener.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
How was it being working in National Lampoons?
Oh, that was a blast. Well, again, that's going back so far. We actually made that trip. The whole crew went from Colorado to Arizona, and now
That's
CGI
awesome.
these days. But we had a great time.
Yeah.
Monument Valley. We went to those places.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You eventually made it to Wally World.
That's right. Right. Which was Magic Mountain, by the way.
Oh, it was Magic
Yeah,
Mountain.
yeah.
Wow.
It's funny.
Wow.
It was the magic of movies. The race,
Wow.
the parking lot was Santa Anita Racetrack in LA, and then once we got in, it was Magic Mountain. And the funniest thing is, God rest his soul, John Candy. Remember that scene?
Yeah.
I was the only one who could fit in the roller coaster with him. So it was supposed to be him and Chevy in the scene, but beyond all that, he was just a sweetheart. He was Uncle Buck for real. He was the guy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. He was great to work with. So those memories are awesome.
Yeah,
as a
absolutely,
kid going across the country with all those people. It's awesome.
And working with Chevy Chase, because at that point, he was a really well-known comedian.
Right. It'd be like Adam Sandler or Will Ferrell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and him playing these lampoon roles as the father.
Yeah.
Was really neat. It was really neat because I think a lot of people can relate to their dads, where there's two sides. There's the nice guy, and then there's the when things go wrong, cussing, swearing, trying to.
Well, you got it. If you just said it, it's really it. That's the paradigm for those movies. They take off, and then everything goes wrong. That's comedy.
Yeah.
That's where it comes in. Everything just they get jacked in the ghetto of St. Louis. The grandmother dies, the dog dies.
That dog died.
Remember Dinky?
I just remembered that.
Dinky the dog.
Yeah.
He didn't make it.
And so, when you're looking for roles, do you get scripts sent to you? What are you looking for? Is there anything where you can look at a script and say, you know what, this is going to be good?
Well, now that I'm working, it's a great question. Now that I'm working towards building my company, I'm always looking at material from two standpoints. From a producer, is this something I would like to make? But when if it's for actors, for hire kind of stuff, it comes from my management company. I take a look at it. I usually have to respond pretty quickly. If it's a TV episodic thing, there's a timeline. You got to get into it and get right back to them. On the movie stuff, again, you really got to audition. Even all the way up to The Dark Knight, I had to go in and audition. So they keep everybody honest that way. And it's also a thing of they want to be able to pair people and see who they like and who they don't like. So, but it makes you hungry. It keeps you hungry. So it's been cool.
And in all your roles, have you ever played an attorney?
Good question, guys. Now that I have new friends as attorneys here, let me see if I play an attorney. No, but I'm going to call you when I need you. Victoria, help me. I'm in jail. Remember the podcast? You can look out for me, right?
Who is this?
Who?
Victoria will be driving back from Oklahoma.
Right.
Don't say nothing.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I really just, as I said, some of the people I played, like when I got to play Bill Gates, I played Whitey Ford. You know, when you play real people, that's a high thing too. It really feels cool. TV shows are just like everyone feels different. You know, some shows I've done like I don't watch, and I wouldn't watch. I wouldn't name them, but I don't really watch them. So, but in that case, again, you have to have respect because you're coming into a situation that's already successful. You want to chill out, kind of be on the periphery, and you know, you kind of adapt and flow as you go. You know, as an actor, yeah.
How did you feel about Goldbergs? Like going into, I guess, like an '80s role,
Yeah.
and '80s is like that's your thing.
Yeah, well, you know what? I was like, cool, why not? You know, and then I love how they make fun of it. It's like part of the joke.
Oh, it's
right.
it's
All the like
best.
mullets and all. You know, I mean, but their humor, the writing is what's up, right? It's so funny.
It is.
Yeah,
It's one of my favorite.
they're nice
shows.
people too, really are.
Do you still get like nervous, like playing roles? Because as lawyers, like when we try cases, we've tried hundreds of cases.
Let me.
and we
Would you
still-
answer that first? I want to hear what you guys think. Tell me.
And we still get nervous.
Yeah.
We
Do you,
still,
Victoria?
We still get nervous.
A little. It's different. There's that nervous when they give you a license, and then Ef'n and I both started at the DA's office. They give you a box of files, and they're like, "Go figure this shit out," and you're like, "I don't know what I'm doing."
Right.
So you have that where you're just like, "Well, hopefully I don't get fired," and then
Right,
and
right.
then you get hired, or you know finish off your career, you're going, you're learning things, and you get a little bit more comfortable. And when you walk into a courtroom, or at least, I don't know, there were some courtrooms that I was assigned to, so I spent 3-4 years, and I'm like, I have home advantage. This is my court. But when you're getting ready to pick a jury, you still have those like little butterflies where you're like,
Yeah, where it just hurts,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Where you're like,
Interesting. How will the gravity really hit you?
yeah,
right?
where you're just like,
Interesting.
okay, like,
Yeah.
but it's also, I don't know, like, we had like this really, really great mentor, Homer Vasquez, and he would always just like, if you would go in nervous, like, you know, I'm gonna what you know do, and you will find your words. And so I always just remembered that, like, this is my jam. This is what I do. It
Nice,
doesn't matter
yeah.
like how many doubts I have in my head, or how many different things that I'm thinking could go wrong, or shit, I don't know if this piece of evidence is going to come in, but I'm like, but you know what? This is what I do.
Cool.
And so, but
Nice.
you don't lose that feeling where it's just like, oh shit, maybe I'm going to screw it up too.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's like a reset for you, right?
Yeah,
That's excellent. Really cool.
It's really terrifying. Like I'm listening to you talk. It's like, God.
Shit, I'm staying out of court. I don't want to go to court at all. I don't even want to go to the DMV.
I'm like, you can do that online now. I've passed out that tidbit, at least here, where
Yeah,
people are
yeah.
like, oh, I have to wait like 3 hours for the DMV. And I'm like, no, you can check in online.
You can
have
do
to be
jury
there
duty online.
Like 10 minutes.
Do your
Wow.
jury duty thing online also.
Yeah,
We'll just go.
Jury duty, date online.
Yeah.
You could do everything online now.
Yeah.
Jury duty. I'm taking care of my
Shortcuts.com.
my father. Yeah.
I've never been picked for jury duty. It just, and now I
Oh,
know.
you
I
didn't
mean,
miss
it's
anything.
never going to happen.
Oh, right.
But the last time I went, I was already a prosecutor, and I go up and I tell the judge who's doing the impanelment. He's like giving people excuses and stuff like that. And I remember who it was. I was just like, I don't want to be excused, but don't put me on a criminal panel because my boss is going to get mad because prosecutors shouldn't be on criminal panels. He's like, I'll just excuse. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be excused. I'd like to be on a jury. And he's like, here's your excuse.
Goodbye.
Like, go away.
Wow. Nice.
And Anthony,
Interesting.
have you ever served on a jury or been called for jury duty?
Thanks for asking. You know what? I lucked out the last couple of years. I had to do the thing where you go there, check in, bring a book, and you're just waiting, and they're just releasing groups. So I lucked out so far.
Did anyone
And I say
recognize
that
you?
I'll be in a murder trial next year. I'm sure. 2 months later,
It's like-
all went great. He looks like Willie Nelson when he came out of it.
Mr. Hall, you're a poor person.
Yeah.
How did the jury find this person?
Right? You ain't famous enough, dude. You're here for 3 more weeks. Okay? So thank God I've missed him. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And what state are you currently living in?
We live in Los Angeles. We live in a little town called Playa del Rey. It's
Oh,
nice.
right.
Yeah, it's just south of Venice, Marina del Rey. Yeah.
Wow. What's the weather like there?
Usually sunny, man. Really
Usually
nice.
sunny?
Yeah.
Yeah, not
really
like
nice.
like South Texas. Like today, I mean, it's nice.
You're
but
lucky.
usually-
Tell me what it's like here, guys. Is it just like baking hot Mexico and then it's Twister, or what goes on? Is the weather
Yeah.
change
Like
all the
it-
time?
Yeah, it's pretty much like we'll get the 110 degree weather.
Wow.
It's 110 degrees one day, and then the next day it's going to be pouring rain. And then you get a cool front on the third day, a cold front on the third day where it's like 56 degrees.
Right.
But we feel a lot more here because it's really moist. Like there's a lot of moisture in the air, so you feel
Right.
it. You get that chill.
Well, you think about the map of our country, right? The weather's hitting from all, right? That's blowing from east to west and coming from the ocean. Wow.
Yeah,
I feel like our winters has lasted a couple months longer than it had in previous years. Now we still have like chilly weather, but the summers are insufferable.
Beautiful. Oh, they're too hot.
They're hot and humid.
Yeah. I was in Chicago last week. So it's we get there, it's 18 degrees. Feels like it's negative 21.
Nice.
Welcome to Chicago.
Right.
You get off.
I love cold weather.
No, so do I.
Frostbite. Yeah.
But then it gets like 35 degrees. The sun's out. So I'm literally walking around in a t-shirt and shorts. It feels fantastic.
Crazy. Huh?
Snow everywhere, but it's comfy. Like it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Then you come over to the valley and it's like that's the thing. I'd rather it be cold because you can layer on clothes. In the valley, you can get naked and you're still sweating.
Yes.
Really?
Like
That
you
is
cannot like cool off.
yes.
It's terrible.
The humidity.
And I'm fat.
I mean, that probably plays a small role. In
The Rio Sweaty
A little
Valley.
bit of insulation. Yes. No, it
Sweaty Valley.
The sweaty valley.
It is.
So did you fly down here?
We drove. We flew into Oklahoma, and then we've been road tripping it. So
that's
my
awesome.
fiance's in the car, my buddy Jack, who's working with me producing and promoting the event, and then we have a guy named Rome who's directing, shooting clips for us as we're compiling footage. So it's nice. It's like a little road trip, road crew.
Wow.
Rock and roll road show, whatever.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Really
We're having
cool.
a great time. The main thing is the fans are loving it. It's really been nice. Like people responded immediately.
That's awesome.
Did you realize how big Texas was before you drove through it?
Yes, ma'am. I've been here a few times. No, I have.
Who
Exactly.
did the logistics on
No,
this
no,
one?
it's real because I did years ago. I did Johnny Be Good.
Are
and
we
I
out
took-
of Texas yet?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Right, 2 days later. No, I did San Antonio. I did a movie there years ago, and then I worked in Austin. So yeah, I was aware of the Flatland. I know. Yeah, I know it's a big one. But I'd never driven it like this, So it was really nice to kind of head south as we did it.
I mean, you got to be with really good friends if you're driving because I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
right. Because
Through Texas, because somebody's going to stay somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone's gonna fight over something.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like-
We got a big old Yukon, so it's
Yeah.
nice. Everybody's got a little space, but it's been really, really a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Ef'n likes to travel in minivans.
minivans. That's
You're
my
psychotic.
thing.
You
like minivans?
Yeah, the
No.
minivans.
The electric door.
Last year,
electric door.
it was last year, right? We did a CLE in Houston, and we had him in charge of renting the. He's like, I'll rent, and I'm like, okay, like a bit, like an SUV or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, yeah.
And I roll up, I'm like, you got us a fucking minivan, really?
It's the Dadmobile.
Dadmobile. I mean, that's
It's the closest
I
you're going to get
will
to the
say, though, it was
Batmobile.
very comfortable. It was very
yeah,
comfortable. for the,
like after having kids, a minivan. I mean, nothing beats a minivan. I mean,
That's it, huh? Space, man.
You
Yeah.
say that, and yet, what do you currently
Yeah,
drive?
It's also a
just-
portable dining room if your family's in
Exactly.
all the time,
There
right?
you go.
Exactly.
Where the hell these Cheerios come from? Oh, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And if the wife ever kicks you out, you're like the minivan.
Yeah.
I always have the minivan. Right?
Down by
that
the
back
river.
row.
Yeah. Jeez.
And do you have any kids?
Not yet, man. No,
Not yet, okay.
no. I was kind of busy all these decades. I'm gonna get to it now. I'm getting married in the fall. Actually,
That's awesome,
To the
man.
chick in
Congratulations.
Miami.
Wow.
Thanks, guys. Yeah,
That is awesome.
Congratulations.
My old
Who's-
ass. I'll be that dad. Drop my kid off in a wheelchair. How you doing? How's college? No, but I can't wait to have kids. My fiance is Lucia Oscarova. She's Slovakian. We've been together about 5-6 years now, so we're kind of
Right on.
married already.
Right on.
Yeah, but it's beautiful. We're excited. Going to be in Miami. I got good friends down there, so we're going to go down there and get married.
That's awesome.
It's 11/11/2020. Remember me, guys, in the fall. 11/11/2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice days.
Yeah, man.
Remember the date.
Yes.
Yeah.
Save the date.
Save the
sending it
date.
out right now.
We're on the list.
Yeah.
We're on
Right.
the list. Like, he has no idea
No.
who this is.
Who the hell are these people?
All right, podcast lawyers. Remember?
He told us.
Told us.
That's the only way.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of Miami, did you watch the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I was happy to see the Chiefs win.
I was very
Good
excited
game though,
about
guys.
that.
Right? How did you feel?
Okay, so I went to tech for law school, but I'm not, I will admit it, I'm not really big into football. I'm not, but when I hear that there's like a little bit of a connection, I'm like, sure, I'm going to join that bandwagon, and I
Right.
don't care who judges me.
Right.
But it was a good game. For
was.
somebody who does not, for me, I don't watch football regularly. My boyfriend's really into it. I'll watch sometimes with him. My dad, he's a diehard Cowboys fan. Anybody in this part of the Texas.
Yes, ma'am.
They're
Die
it's
hard.
all Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Sunday morning, you see that.
Oh man,
every day
yeah.
of the
Football's
year at
religion.
HEB.
It's, yeah, church and football in America, baby, especially in Texas. Absolutely.
But it was an exciting game, and it was really good, and I was very excited for Patrick Mahomes. And
Yeah, great player.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was a good game though. It was competitive right to the end. Yeah.
Didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
No.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Did you watch the halftime show?
Yes.
Cabron.
Cabron.
Yeah.
For Shakira and J-Lo, but
Always got time for Chiquita and J-Lo. It's like mashed potatoes
Me
and
too. Yeah,
macaroni.
thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I was doing an interview. I missed that.
Like
Yeah.
someone shaking their hips. Let me tune in.
Yeah.
Seriously, yeah.
Then watch it on
It's
YouTube
like, oh,
later.
the
I was doing another
J-Lo
podcast
Shakira
at
concert
halftime.
is on. Let me watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that and I was like,
Yeah. You could just lock them in for the rest of the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Just
that
bring
was
those two back every
great.
year. Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue
Yeah,
that.
check that out.
Yeah.
Did you
Love them
enjoy
both.
the halftime show?
I did enjoy the halftime show.
Nice.
I didn't see the halftime show.
What?
Yeah.
Is this because Pam's
Taking a
gonna
dad
listen
nap? What happened there?
to the podcast episode?
No, it was Shakira and J-Lo.
Yeah, they're
You weren't
hot.
feeling it.
And I just thought to myself, you go from like growing up having Michael Jackson at the
And Prince.
and Prince.
Okay,
That was pretty
both of those
dope, but
artists are
that
no
Prince
longer
was
with us.
amazing.
Yeah, that was dope.
Prince
I remember
was
that
really good.
I
so
remember
well.
Prince. Yes,
Yeah.
that was. But again, they are no longer with us. So,
But
this is-
Shakira and J-Lo, I
I
felt
know.
I
like
feel
Oh
yeah.
my-
If you don't
They're
really think of like their I mean, I love hers, both of them as performers, but yeah. In terms of
sure.
song lists, I can't really
So,
think
like,
of a Shakira track right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because what you got to ask yourself is, okay, do they have the potential of bringing down the house?
they did.
They did.
Literally.
Two booties, 80,000. The house is coming down.
Yeah, it happened.
No. It was. So this
It was
is-
dope.
I know
So
Miami
last-
was rocking. I missed it. I
Yeah.
literally was doing another podcast. I missed it.
Oh, no. Yeah,
Last
it was really
year,
good.
it was Maroon 5, Adam Levine, and no offense to, I really like Maroon 5.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really like
yeah,
Adam Levine.
right on.
Boring.
That is not.
Yeah. That's not Super Bowl
But
stuff.
yeah, no,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
you have
that's
Chiquita
right.
and J-Lo going on
Right.
stage, shaking their ass,
Right.
saying, thank you, God, for giving this to me, and showing the world and being proud of what they got. Yeah, you got a good show.
That's right.
And you,
And I
and you
enjoyed
were
it.
like, thank you, God, for giving this to us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
I just got like
You need
prescriptions,
superstars.
so we're good.
Right. Superstars and super booties for halftime.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the
a little
football
bit
game
more
though.
than that. I liked all the dancing that they had, and they had some kids on there dancing, giving them an opportunity. Emmy
Yeah.
came on and sang with her mom. It was
It was really
awesome.
good.
And then
Beautiful.
there were like Latinas in the community, and Miami. Where else are you going to have
Yeah,
a better,
absolutely.
Like, Latino community there?
No, I took Lucia to see J-Lo for her birthday back in December. Unbelievable. She's an incredible performer. The show was beautiful. What else, F?
What else?
What else?
You guys wanna-
What else? What
Is it
else?
harder
What else?
playing real people like versus
Oh, that's a good question.
made up people?
I think in the case when I played Gates, I wanted to really be on point, so I read everything I could about him, and I think it just from a personal standpoint, it motivated me more, like playing him. The only other time I can think was the Whitey Ford thing, and that was just a great experience. That was real. That was a lot of fun. I don't think it's harder, but I think with the Gates thing, it just I was
little
keyed
bit
up. Yeah, man, that was a
more
long time ago.
pressure.
Yeah.
I also feel like if you're playing
Definitely.
somebody else, somebody can call you out. Like that's not really what
That's
this
not who you-
person is
yeah.
like or what. But if you have like a made up role, then
Yeah.
Then you're like free game,
nobody
man.
knows.
Yeah.
How was it with on Dark Knight, Mike Engel? You're in that scene with Heath Ledger. You're upside down.
Yeah.
So you were upside
You
down.
know what was cool? That day we got there, we were shooting a place called Cardington, which was like an old British airfield, and it's where they made the blimps.
Oh, wow.
So the stage was like 8 stories tall, like way bigger than what you see in Hollywood, and it was about 5 blocks long. I'm not kidding us. You walked in, the whole city was built in there. So they had that building in there and the high rise and everything. So to your question, we were sitting around for like 8 hours one day, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And the assistant director came up to me and Heath, and they said, okay, we're going to meet the stunt guys, and Heath's going to direct the clip. So Heath actually directed that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and we just went to the little stage set inside the the big stage and hung upside down and shot that like video camera, kamikaze
yeah.
style.
It
Yeah,
was-
yeah, but he was cool to work with.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it was.
Chris was somewhere else doing some other stuff.
That was a really good shot, man. Good scene.
Yeah, yeah. No, he was in the zone, man. He was really cool. And off camera, he was really super chill. Really nice,
Yeah.
easygoing guy from Australia. Christian Bale was cool too. I didn't have much to do with him in the movie, but
Right on.
I was
Who's
psyched
your
to be
favorite
working with
Batman?
him.
How's that?
My favorite Batman.
I may have to get up and work out if he.
No.
Okay. Oh, she set me up here. Okay, hold on.
The podcast is officially over.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
the
old
workout,
enough to
man.
remember like the first one, even though it was goofy, it was kind of over the top. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
I loved the first one, Keaton, because of Jack. Jack made it.
Right
because
on,
the hero's
right on.
only as good as your villain.
Right on.
But then over in recent years, man, I never saw the ones with Val Kilmer and George Clooney. Did we miss anything?
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're completely good. You had nipple suit Batman. You are good, bro.
Yeah. I tried to get through Ben Affleck's version of it. I didn't get there. I didn't
No.
get there. Yeah, I didn't feel that.
Yeah,
Well, see, that's the thing with Batman and
We
Bruce
passed
Wayne.
the hot potato. Yeah, what do you
Yeah, well, that's the thing with Batman and Bruce Wayne. You have to have 2 different characters, so you have to play 2 different people. So you got a suave, debonair,
Right.
sexy, Sean Connery type of dude picking up women, billionaire, And then you have Batman that really dark. You know, I have a scarred past, and I'm like, it's terrible, and I'm going to save everybody. And with Ben Affleck, I think he did an okay Batman.
Yeah.
And he destroyed Bruce Wayne. And you think
Like in a good way or a bad way?
no, in a bad way. I think he was a terrible Bruce Wayne.
I see what you mean. That's an interesting point. Now, I worked with him on a movie called Live by Night. He's a great guy, Ben. But I feel what you're just saying. That's interesting. I can tell you this. Here's what Chris Nolan said. I asked him about this. And I said, why did you hire Christian? He goes, he was the first dude who came in the door. He just knew it. And as you were just describing those two things, Christian Bale's a great actor, as we know, right? I mean, so many good movies. He has that thing, man, where he could play the debonair thing, but he's also got this
dark side. Yeah.
I totally agree.
And
It's really interesting you said that.
It's really cool because like Christian Bale.
Yeah.
His Batman, I think, is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
I think he did a hell of a Batman. I really, really do.
He's not my favorite, but he did.
He's not my favorite either.
That the way you described it about how they played the two different roles, I see it. Yes, you
that
are
duality.
correct.
And you have to, and if you're playing somebody like if you're playing Batman, that's what scares me with the new guy. What's his name?
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson. Yeah.
I don't know, man. That scares me. I'm a Batman fan, big old Batman fan.
Too skinny for the suit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, too skinny for the suit. I don't know.
Good actor, though. No, it's
good
interesting.
actor, but
no, you brought up a great point. You have to have that duality.
you have to have it. You have to have it. You go to Keaton. I think Keaton had it. Keaton was perfect.
Yeah.
He was Bruce Wayne, and like he was a goofy billionaire, which made him that much cooler.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Say, oh, I picked up that suit and blah blah blah.
Right.
But then you had him as Batman, and he was one hell of a Batman. Like
He's my favorite.
Totally.
I love
Like
I
him.
was just going to ask you, was he your favorite?
Yes,
Okay.
he's my favorite. Every time I think of Batman, I think of the time where he picks up the fire poker and he's just like, "You want to get nuts?
come on, let's get nuts.
So I'm like,
Yes,
yes,
I love
yes,
it.
that's
dude, yes.
him. I was
Right.
like, I love him.
What about you, F? Who's your favorite?
You know, Michael Keaton. I
Yeah.
mean, huge fan of Michael Keaton's Batman. Like after seeing him in that movie, Mr. Mom.
Yeah. One hell of a Batman there.
Yeah. Written by John Hughes, by the way, but I agree. He's a great comedian, right? Yeah. I thought he was
really
good.
And then his stuff in Beetlejuice. Holy
Yeah.
Beetlejuice is great.
smokes. Like as a kid, like I didn't even know it was Michael Keaton until
That
like,
is true.
later
Yeah,
on.
I didn't know it was
awesome.
Batman. Yeah.
Beetlejuice, right? He was awesome.
And then
Yeah.
It's kinda like a
Multiplicity,
Joker, that
you got
character,
so
right?
many of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And do you get involved in any like theater, Anthony?
You know
or
what? I
is it
haven't done
mostly-
too much theater over the year. The reason being is I totally have a great respect for it. I grew up in New York City, so I love going to the theater. I take Lucia. We go see stuff when we're in New York, plays, musicals. But to your question, no, I only did one thing. It was called what was it called? The Exonerated. And it was kind of like, remember back in the day, about 15 years ago, they did this play called The Vagina Monologues, where women were like, right, so they kind of rotated the cast. It was a similar thing. It was off book. It wasn't off book, excuse me. We all read from the scripts. There was about a half dozen actors, and it was produced by Bob Balaban. It was like a New York off-Broadway thing. So that was the last time I did something. And then prior to that, when I was a little kid. So for me, the reason I have not approached it, and I still am open to it, maybe I will, is I just prefer, I've been so blessed with the television and film acting career that I really like that. I also like that it's sort of cataloged, it's there, and it's, Now, the flip side of that is everybody does theater. It's the love of the theater. And, of course, you can't replace that. It is an awesome experience for both audience and actors. But for me, I was just, happy enough doing what I was doing.
Yeah, right on.
But
And
never
had-
say never.
Never say never. Yeah.
Are there any roles that were offered to you, but you turned down, and you're like, man, if I could go back, I would play that role?
Yeah, well, there's a couple in my past just because of John Hughes again. I mean, he comes back. Well, first of all, he wrote Mr. Mom. He wrote Vacation. But I didn't meet him on that film, so then I did those 3 films, and that's when I worked with him. But he actually wrote Ferris Bueller for me, and he wrote, and he wanted me to be in Pretty in Pink as well. But
As
but I'd actually, because of what he had given me, I was working, and I was actually just booked. It wasn't capable, I wasn't capable of doing it. So that was unfortunate. But those 2 he actually wanted me to be a part of, and Ferris was written for me.
Wow.
But you know how it is. As you
Ferris,
get
man.
older, you realize it's like everybody. You got to wish everybody success, and everybody
Absolutely.
does a great job, and everybody, wish well for everybody.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, no sour grapes. The only other one was that Full Metal Jacket. It was an interesting experience. I wound up being in an 8-month negotiation with Stanley Kubrick over that. With my father at the time, who was my manager.
Yeah.
And it got deep. At one point, you guys will appreciate this as attorneys. At one point, his agent called my agent to ask my father, who was my manager, if he had read a book called Nuclear Negotiations. It got deep. It got real deep. And but so unfortunately that didn't work out. But I had the privilege of talking to Stanley Kubrick, which was amazing in itself. It was like meeting the Wizard of Oz, of movies. So to this day, I love him. He's one of my favorites.
Wow,
and tough Full Metal Jacket's on. It's like The Shining. You know, I'm
Yeah.
watching it. You know.
Yeah, it's just one of those
Great flicks.
iconic movies, and
Yeah.
and the things you've done and the roles that you've played are going to be on. I mean, forever, because I mean, it being on, kids are now seeing it, and what's old is now becoming new to them.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
it must
appreciate that
be-
very much. You know, I've worked
really-
hard. I've been very blessed to have a long career, and I'm very forward thinking. I hope there's another 40 years for me, but I really appreciate that. Yeah, because it's you know how it is with any career, man. You have highs and lows. You just got to keep chipping away at it. But at a certain point, it's been a real blessing to look back and go, wow, I got a legacy of work. You know, so I'm really grateful to God for that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
And you do have a legacy. I mean, look, like everything you've done.
Am I
Like,
dead
Yeah.
yet? Wait a minute.
not yet, man.
No, I
not
appreciate
yet.
it. Yeah, no, thank you, bro.
Yeah, and you know what? Those nerd roles that you played in your early career.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it affected a lot of people because they saw a lot of themselves in
Thank you.
the
Yeah.
role that you were playing. And
I appreciate that.
in most of those roles, the one thing I think they all have in common is you never gave up.
Nice.
The
Well said.
characters just never
Yeah.
gave up.
Well, you know what's interesting in studying this, because as I'm becoming a writer and working on that in my own time with my screenplay that I'm going to be doing, I've been studying writing for a long time. And for a long time as an actor, I didn't feel like I really got it. You know, I would play the part, I would know my lines, and I understood and learned my craft. But there's a theme in movies, and it's really important, and it actually goes back to faith. It's redemption, okay? So in The Wizard of Oz, she's trying to get back home. You know what I mean? So the idea of redemption in movies is powerful and very important. So you're right, John Hughes had it. He used humor to get there, right? So like 16 Candles, Weird Science, they're goofy, they're funny. But then a film like Breakfast Club, again, the redemption of those characters, they realized what? The messages were more alike than were different. You know, so that's beautiful. That's a beautiful theme in films, that you got to take an audience on that journey. And I'm just grateful I worked with this guy, because he was an incredible director. You know, and these movies will last. And that's a big inspiration for wanting to do this tour, to bring them back to people in a way, which
Right
is
on,
nice.
yeah.
It is nice.
Right on.
Cool. Now,
I need a tissue, man. I'm getting emotional.
now, you promised that this isn't going to be
Excuse me.
your last time in South Texas, right?
Oh, no, I'm
You're
coming
gonna-
back. I
you're
love
gonna
it,
come
man. The
back?
people have really been great. We had a party at the 80s bar, as I told you guys. And
Yeah, right on.
doing some nice events, and these screenings have been great. And at Evo Entertainment, CEO over there, Mitch Roberts, is a great guy. So we did some great ones there. Hometown Cinema we went to. It's really cool. You know, I really enjoy it.
Tonight you're going to be doing Cine El Rey, right?
Yeah, Cine del Rey tonight. Cine El Rey.
Cine El Rey,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
And do you have a social media presence? Do you have your own
I do,
Facebook
yeah. Fans can
page?
check it out. It's on AMH4 Real. So my initials, number 4, and then Real. And my website, this is pretty funny. This is what was available, because somebody else had my name. TheAnthonyMichaelHall.com. Can't forget it. 97 letters, but yeah, TheAnthonyMichaelHall.com. And yeah, man, this has been a pleasure.
Wow,
That's awesome.
Well, thank you. Next time you're in South Texas, like hit us up.
I'm coming back. Thank you. I would love to see you guys again.
Yeah, or
We'll
if
take you
yeah.
to get the best food here. I
Okay.
don't know where they're taking you this evening.
We'll
or
go get the
anything.
food
I'm gonna
trucks,
call you
man.
Victoria. Right.
And if you
Right.
get arrested for anything while you're here,
Great. No, I've had
give
enough of
you-
that. Thanks.
I'll give you. We'll give you Victoria's
Stay away from me, TMZ. Had enough of that shit.
Yeah, I don't think.
I know who to call though now. I got people here, okay?
do.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
people here, yeah.
We just can't be together when it happens because we
Okay.
work better from the outside.
Copy that. Yes, ma'am. Right. The judge can't know that we've done podcasts together.